Thanks for tuning in to the 3-Minute Historian. The goal of this program is to go through the entire history of the United States of America 3 minutes at a time. We start today with Columbus, the man who introduced the Old World to the New World. We all know about Columbus, right? We all know the story of Queen Isabella, how she hawked the royal jewels to finance the voyage. We know how the sailors worried about falling off the edge of the world, and how people in recent years have been protesting celebrations of Columbus. But let's take the rest of what's left of my 3 minutes to see what was really going on with Columbus and how he got the financing for his voyage. The man we know as Christopher Columbus was born as Cristoforo Colombo in around 1451. We don't really know the exact year of his birth. He was born in Genoa, which is part of Italy. Young Colombo left the Mediterranean, where Genoa, along with Venice, provided shipping between Europe and India by way of the Middle East. He joined a Portuguese fleet trading on the coast of Africa. Now, the Portuguese were trying to find a new route to India by going around Africa. Colombo sailed on some of these voyages with the Portuguese, but he looked away from the unending coast of Africa and looked towards the west. He thought a better route to India and China would be to the west, across the open sea. Colombo knew that the world was not flat. He was not afraid of falling off the edge of the world. Colombo did not have his own ships, so he went to Portugal and Spain for help. Now, the Portuguese and Spanish scientists all thought Colombo was nuts, and they were right. Colombo's calculations were off. He figured the Earth as 3,000 miles smaller than its actual size. Nobody could sail west from Europe to Asia in those days, but what nobody figured on was that a landmass stood in the way. Somewhat strange how a mathematical error led to one of the biggest discoveries in the history of the world. After a while, Colombo went back to Spain to try again, but with a different sales pitch this time. You see, Spain was finishing a long war of driving Muslims out of the country. This war started in 711 AD when a Muslim army from North Africa captured the peninsula. The Muslims ruled Spain for several hundred years, but Spanish Christians fought back, with each generation gaining a little more territory than the one previous. In 1462, Queen Isabella of Castile married King Ferdinand, or Fernando, of Aragon. Their marriage united the two kingdoms as España, or Spain. Ferdinand and Isabella continued the fight to expel Muslims from Spain. In 1491, they besieged the last Muslim stronghold at Granada. That's where they granted an audience to Colombo, who by this time had changed to the Spanish name of Cristobal Colon. Speaking to Ferdinand and Isabella, and perhaps some of their children, Colon proposed a plan where he would sail directly across the ocean to India and bring back a fortune in spices and silk. This fortune could be used to sweep the Muslims not only out of Spain but out of North Africa, and ultimately to conquer Egypt and bring Jerusalem under Christian control. Ferdinand and Isabella were both devout Catholics, so this plan appealed to them. Queen Isabella did indeed put up the royal jewels as collateral for a loan to pay for 3 ships. Whether Colon actually believed in the crusade to Jerusalem is open to debate, but that's how the idea for the voyage was sold. Tune in again next time, and we'll take a look at the voyages of Columbus.